This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
If anyone can talk a Balgarth out of a fight, it's you.
If anyone can keep us alive, it's you.
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends.
You don't need to change anything.
I would give my life to see them through.
I apparently only get into trouble when I'm around you lot.
I never want to have that kind of power over somebody.
She lands upon the deck, but just on her toes, like a dancer, like a ballet dancer, as if the weight of sin has yet to fall on her shoulders.
And the light of nature will be brought to them.
We haven't done this before. Does that make us professional?
That would make you amateurs at best.
At best, I like that.
I've had a hard time finding answers in my life.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Where are you from, Ezekiel?
Wherever your wife goes when she dreams, and I'll walk away.
Fuck you and fuck your will.
There's no redemption for the likes of you.
You were never loved as a child.
How do you want to do this? Okay, so previously, as the Bronze-Scales continued on their long pilgrimage to the holy city of Nymenet, they discovered rumors of a creature known as the Shadow Lynx. This creature being a champion of Duma, Ezekiel had to do something. So, after the Bronze-Scales sobered their weapons and geared up, they began their hunt into the evergreen woods surrounding Whiteguard. Ezekiel led them to the shrine of Duma he destroyed before. There, werewolves ambushed with claw and fang, but between weapon and spell, victory looked within reach. Suddenly, black arrows began to strike from the woods beyond, and the search began. After taking a few more arrows, the Shadow Lynx was spotted. Wounded but not down, Ezekiel called upon the vines and roots to stop the creature's retreat. With the creature trapped, the scales rushed to strike it while it was entangled. Amsen paralyzed the creature, allowing Ball, wreathed in divine flames, to deliver a smite that nearly slashed the creature in half, with Ezekiel delivering the killing blow, revealing a heavily slashed body of an older halfling with fiery red hair. As you gathered yourself and what you could, the bodies of the werewolves reverted to their human forms, except for one which exploded in hexed energy. That same cursed power pooled from the halfling's wounds, pouring itself in the ash wood of the bow nearby. You've walked, before carrying the body back to the fort city of Whiteguard, where Hound stopped you, outside the gates, recognizing the name of the cloak you found on the halfling's back. A small company of hounds have escorted you to the top of the wedge-shaped city and into Fort Wardengrad. You now find yourselves in the throne room. Red banners with black wolves line the columns, with a number of armored humans standing to the left and the right of the Queen in white scales, who stands before you. As she stands and walks towards you, you hear a stepping and a quiet growl. As behind the throne, a large dire wolf with reddish-brown fur steps forth, coming to stand just behind and to the side of the Queen. You see a military individual still holding over the body of the halfling, looking over as the Queen steps forward. The Queen looks over to the man hanging over the halfling. Duke, uncle, take her downstairs. He looks up, nods at the command, and lifts the body and leaves the room. She turns her attention back to you, as the others are now standing just behind, to the left and right of the Queen. So, tell me, how did you find my cousin?
Well, Your Highness, it's an interesting story. One of our compatriots here, actually, he enjoys the company of nature and forest, and so he decided to explore outside of the city a little bit, and found a shrine to the being known as Duma. So he came back and told us about it, and we've came across followers of Duma before and have deemed them evil to a point where they are willing to destroy anything good. So we decided to do the town a bit of a favor and check it out. We got close to that site, and we were ambushed by lycanthropes, believe it or not.
She narrows her eyes at that, turns over her shoulder to a servant-looking man in gray clothes, simple. Retrieve the black room. The man leaves the room, and she turns her attention back to you, gesturing for you to continue.
I believe there were 3 werewolves and 1 were-bear, and Amsen kind of lifts his hand and waves in the direction of where the halfling was carried off. And what we didn't know at the time, her as a were-lynx, a very small animal, somewhat feline in nature. And we fought off the werewolves and the were-bear, and as we were just overpowering the were-bear, she began to shoot arrows at us, actually hitting several of us quite hard.
At this point, because I haven't been healed up completely yet, I kind of opened my arms a little bit wider to show where I was shot.
Is during the day.
Yes.
She asks if she moves over to Ellory and moves your hand or cloth out of the way to inspect the wound.
Yes, actually, during the day. We were caught off guard as well. We weren't expecting to find her until after the sun had set.
And you found on her these things. She gestures to the cloak and the bow.
Yes. The bow she used to attack us while she was still changed. But we didn't find the cloak until after. You see, one of our compatriots, the same one that has an affinity to nature, has some sort of magical ability that, when exposed to it, and if they are weak in form or something like that, can change them back, at least physically.
And which one is this?
I'll look over my shoulder and motion to Ezekiel. He's the one who originally found the shrine.
She walks towards Ezekiel, getting close to him, eyeing him up and down. She looks over her shoulder towards the man in red dragon plate, and as he steps up, square jaw, broad-shouldered, but fairly thin, but he steps forward. You. And Ezekiel's tall, and the queen is fairly tall. She's maybe about Vesper's height or so. And you. Where are you from? She begins to kind of slowly pace in a circle around you, Ezekiel.
Across the sea, over in the Isle. Saffron Garden, originally, I believe, if I'm remembering my notes.
Off the obsidian break, the man in red plate speaks up.
No, can't say I've been there.
You look like...
I know what I look like. There are others of us. Some at random. Trust me, I am different than them.
I'll kind of walk close to Ezekiel and speak up a little bit and say, he's been traveling with us for quite some time. I assure you, he's of no harm to the city.
How long? The queen speaks up.
A little bit less than a month.
And where are you going?
Home. Just passing through.
The rest of us are on a pilgrimage to Nyessa.
After she circles back around in front of Ezekiel, she stares, meets your gaze for an uncomfortable amount of time. Seconds, but maybe feels like minutes. Eventually, you hear movement, and everyone kind of looks over, and you see another gentleman who walks in, wearing simple, darker clothes. Older man, maybe in his 60s. He has sort of graying hair and a gray and dark peppered bushy beard that comes down to his clavicle. As he walks closer, you see he has a black glyph, rune of some sort tattooed into his forehead. He steps forward. The queen says, Black rune, take a look at these. She gestures towards the bow. You see the man kind of kneels down, pulls out a black pearl, And Meli, you know instantly. Amsen, you're familiar with. The rest have seen Meli do this before, begins identifying the weapon.
As he starts pulling that out, I will speak up and say something that we've tried that when, unfortunately, she perished in the fight. Some sort of magical energy transferred from her into the bow, and Meli here is a very experienced spellcaster, and she attempted to identify the item as it was, and she said that there was some sort of evil presence in the bow that didn't want to be investigated. I'm not going to stop you, but just be careful.
As you're saying this to him, he's kind of already doing it, basically ignoring you, but he does as he pulls out the pearl and begins to look through it. You can see his eyes are very light. It's hard to tell what color they are. They just reflect whatever color is nearby. But as he does this, he begins the spell. A few seconds go by before it stops, and he kind of flinches back and meets your gaze, Amsen, before looking at the queen. He's right. There's something in here. He gets to his feet before beginning the same procedure on the cloak. All right. We'll work on that. You've done us a service. Not one we asked for, but you did. I'll reward you for that. Not sure who you are, where you came from. We'll answer those questions before we leave. I have some business to attend to. You'll be escorted to the council hall, where you'll wait and receive your reward.
I will nod my head and kind of half bow and keep my head low and things like that and say, "You are most gracious. Thank you."
She nods before gesturing to a hound with a red armband with 2 black stripes, who kind of come up and begins to lead you to the right in a different direction from where the corpse of the halfling was taken. The queen begins to head that way, and as you're kind of taken from the room, you hear her speak over her shoulder to someone, some servant. And find Priscilla. Have her contact her brother. You want to know this. And she leaves, following the same direction of where the Duke and the halfling were taken. You're taken out of that throne room, through a hall, eventually through these stone halls and rooms into a larger, what looks like a council hall. It's a pretty simple room. There's columns in a circle, and in the center is a fairly large table that can accommodate probably up to 15 people. And you're told to wait there. There's a few guards that do stay near the doors, but none kind of stand near you.
At least they seem to be rewarding our efforts. For a moment there, I thought we were about to be punished.
Yeah, not the first time we've been in a similar situation. But, I think everything is fine.
I wonder if they knew this whole time who the Banelings was.
Well, I'm sure.
Probably nothing's been done about it until now.
Of course.
This is proper.
Well, I can't fault them entirely. They have tried. They sent people.
Sorry.
Did they? They have an army at their command, and we're, no offense, how many of us are there? 6 random people from a different country that did it in a day? No royal 7 efforts were devoted to this.
Vesper, he's tired. He's had a long day.
I know.
Near-death experiences make me bad at math.
Are you alright though, Ezekiel? Do you need me to heal you at all?
Oh, I'll be fine.
Anyone else, just in case, while we're stuck here waiting?
I'm okay, but I could use a little if you have something to spare.
I've got a bit to spare.
I've got a couple of spells left in me as well, if anyone needs it.
I will cast Cure Wounds at first level on Ellory. So that is... Oh boy. 6 plus... Oh, heck yeah. That is 14 points to you.
Thank you.
Kalvyn, how are you looking?
Oh, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Kalvyn will look over himself, and then, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is there something on my back?
No, just We just know that you're self-sacrificing, is all.
I'm alright.
How does Ball look?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Then I will save my last spell slot for an emergency.
Well, thank y'all again for coming out there with me. Didn't realize how important it would be to me to do something about it, but when I found the shrine, I just felt I needed to, and I don't think I could have survived that on my own.
Well, I mean, we kind of owed you from when you helped us, so.
I, for one, am glad that I don't need to go give anybody any bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, though I have to look at the map, but if there's time to visit, we may want to take a brief stop there anyway.
That would certainly be interesting.
I think you all would rather enjoy our little enclave.
I imagine
So-
would.
You'll have to tell us sometime what brought you all the way to Severwind.
Yes I will. I'm still figuring it out myself, chasing visions and maps I don't understand, but if I figure it out anytime soon, I'll let you in. Honestly, just trying to fulfill a destiny I don't understand, but have been told about it since birth.
Maybe not that part, but the rest of it sounds par for the course for this group.
That part sounds pretty par for the course, too.
Chasing stories and tales that we don't entirely understand, but sound interesting at the very least.
Just because the voices in your heads are your own doesn't mean it's any different.
That is a conversation we need to have.
Nah.
I'll shrug. Maybe back in the boat. Not incredibly comfortable at the moment.
Me neither.
You nearly died. Actually, both of you nearly died.
That isn't what's making me uncomfortable.
You know, I know they're making us wait because it's like a power play type of thing, and we have no other choice, but this is ridiculous.
You guys will wait for about an hour if you guys want to do anything else besides just kind of talk, cure your wounds, whatever you need to do.
Should we consider this our short rest?
Yes.
You can.
Yes, we should.
Sitting in the waiting room?
Talking. You can do that.
How attentive are these guards?
I mean, they're watching you. I mean, they're not going to stop you from bandaging yourselves, but...
Okay, but...
They're definitely watching.
One of us suddenly shrinking down to a very tiny size would go noticed.
Looking around like they look pretty attentive. These aren't the standard bog guards. These are the loyal ones.
So anyone who's been hurt, I was going to roll a medic check and let you guys see if you guys can take. One success, so Ezekiel, go ahead, take a full hit die.
Alright, and that brings me to full, so great. Thank you.
2 successes, so Ball, go ahead, take a full hit die.
Thank you.
That's a natural 1, so I think Ellory's been healed. Did Amsen get hurt?
I'll take that.
Okay, so no on that one. And then yes on Meli, if you wanted to pull. I think that's everybody.
Okay. So you guys take the hour to kind of bandage your wounds, talk a little bit with Vesper coming to help you bind your wounds from some of the deeper cuts. Eventually, after an hour or so of just waiting, the doors open and enters a woman. You can see she's a pretty woman, maybe early 30s, wispy brown hair, large brown eyes. She's a long face and a very pointed jaw that walks up wearing very practical, somewhat plain clothes, though not dirty or common by any expanse of the imagination. And with her is that same servant that was sent to retrieve the Black Rune. She walks in, takes a seat, and the servant in gray seems to sit beside her. She gestures, "Well, please take a seat so we can begin." So, and she pulls out a fairly hefty sack that clinks. She loosens the rope on it and lets some of these gold coins fall out. It's probably the most money any of you have seen in one place. "As the Queen, Warchild, the second Imperatrix, has declared you will be rewarded for your actions, I am the finance officer, Udella Blacksteed, and I'll be making sure that the transaction goes through smoothly. Now, in addition to what you have already done, slaying the Shadow Lynx, we have to get a couple things straight. First, My friend here will be asking a few questions, just basic information. She then pulls something out of her pack, a book, and a ledger, and she begins reading, almost like lounging back, as if this might take a while. The servant kind of begins asking you questions. Where are you from? What have you been doing? Where are you going? What do your parents do? Who are they? Where are they from? And he begins asking all these questions. Do you guys pretty more or less give them straightforward answers?
With enthusiasm.
More or less. When he starts
More
asking
or
about
less.
my fathers, I get a little bit cagey about Lysander.
Amsen will answer honestly.
Okay. And he does start with like Amsen, Ellory, Kalvyn, the ones that are easy, fairly straightforward. And he saves Ball, Vesper, and Ezekiel for last. And Meli, do you answer pretty straightforward as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yours is easy. He gets to Vesper, and as he kind of gets into the family history, and what exactly are you? Forgive me for asking.
I'm a healer.
No, I thought drow perhaps, but that's not. That's something else.
I'm a genasi.
He kind of looks of air
And fire.
Okay. Looks pretty hard. He jots, and he's taking notes whenever something interesting comes up.
She definitely looks offended as he mutters that.
Right. Ball, do you give him pretty straightforward answers as Ball would?
Except a lot of Ball's answers would be like,
I don't know.
Exactly.
Right. And then he gets to Ezekiel and starts asking questions. The same sort of.
I'm from Briarbridge in Witherwood over in the Isle. My parents are minor politicians, Xavier and Joanna de Barbarac. I'm sure you can look them up.
And no connections to the Obsidian Break or the Gaussian.
Don't really know what either of those are, but thank you for asking again.
Okay, so I'll need Ball, Vesper, and Ezekiel to make persuasion checks.
Oh no. Okay. 15.
12.
Natural 1 for Ball.
All right. He looks over at Udella. Lady Blackstein, I believe everything can be concluded. He steps up, folds his little notes up, and leaves.
I'd like to say for the record that Ellory doesn't mention Mogther, she does mention Kel.
Okay. After he leaves, Medela puts her book and ledger up, whatever she was working on. So, this is 2,000 gold pieces, but it comes with some strings. What you hunted and killed today was the Shadow Lynx, a monster, something that's been plaguing the woods outside of Lycott for some time. You will speak nothing of the Halfling, you will speak nothing of the name you read upon the cloak, and you will not speak anything of the cloak itself. Can we agree on this?
Why not? I'm happy to oblige, I just like to know why.
I glance at Vesper. This does seem like a matter for discretion.
I'm happy to be discreet, I just want to know why.
It would stir unrest.
Of course, the royal family does not need any stain on its name. We hear you.
Yes. Good. I'm glad you understand. It's a simple matter. And whatever it originated as, I understand it is no longer that. So why mention it?
Yes.
Did you find out what the bow is?
The Black Room is currently working on that. I'm not sure how long it will take. He said it would prove troublesome. Other than that, I don't know.
Are you allowed to know what it is once you've found out?
Depends on what it is. I'm a finance officer, so maybe.
So if I come back in like a couple of days?
You will likely be stopped at the gate to the Ivory Reach.
Okay.
Wonderful. So here is the 2,000 gold. She pushes the bag forward as the guards kind of come up. And you'll be escorted out of the Ivory Reach. Enjoy your stay in Western and Whitegard. And she leaves.
You're welcome.
She kind of glances over her shoulder, stops, hesitates for a moment before continuing through the same path back towards the throne room as the guards come to you and usher you out of the council through a different exit from the council hall into the courtyard where you entered in, and then out into the Ivory Reach district itself. You pass by manors and kind of larger households and buildings and structures, and then back into the sort of city proper near the Reverend Ark. And you're going to be released to go free.
I think that went well. It could have gone a lot worse.
Surely.
Yes. Are there still any people standing around waiting, watching to see what happens? Or has everyone who was watching dispersed?
Make a perception or investigation check.
That's pretty good. That's, dirty 20.
Looking around, it seems about as busy as it was before. You were in there for an hour or two. You do notice what looks like a broad-shouldered individual. You can't tell the race. They're kind of in a alleyway, halfway in shadow, is just leaned up casually, looking straight in your direction. You notice as soon as he looks over, and it gives him away, as soon as you look in his direction, he turns and acts like he's doing something.
I nudge Amsen and kind of point with my chin in that direction.
I'll, just looking over in that direction, kind of lean over towards Ellory and be like, people are nosy, and we're a bunch of weirdos.
And you are still being tailed by hounds because of Ball.
Shall we go back to the ship?
I think so.
I'm gonna keep an eye out as we go to see if that person who was trying to pretend he wasn't watching still follows along.
Okay. As you'll head back south, kind of down the sloping towards the ocean sea level, he doesn't leave the alley, but you eventually make your way south, cross through the trade district, and back into the docks where you see the ship.
What time of day is it at this point?
It's probably 6. It's been several hours between hunting, traveling, the meeting, and then getting back to the docks.
Well, I certainly wouldn't mind calling it an early night.
I agree.
Yeah.
Glad we don't have to go back out there and worry about fighting something in the shadows.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna see if I can get a room at the shield wall.
Alright.
Bed might actually be really nice. We're kind of super loaded now.
We can probably afford a couple of pieces to treat ourselves.
Let's sleep in real beds tonight.
Though, last time there were only 2 rooms available, so I don't know if there's enough for all of us.
Well, I'm sure we could squeeze in. Thought, should we see if Orizana wants to come? Since, presumably, she should be free and clear to walk around. Unless the doctor advises otherwise getting her up.
I'd have to take another look at her. I'm more concerned about the people in the city that she was meant to be delivered to. They said they were watching our boat. They've been around the docks. I just don't want her catching the wrong eyes. But it would be nice for her.
Under the assumption that now that they have their package, she was free as a bird.
I hope that's the case.
It wasn't mentioned in the exchange at all.
Either they didn't know about her, or they had some way of knowing already what we did.
I see.
I would advise her to have company, but I think she can probably go ashore.
At least I want to go see how she's doing.
Definitely.
Well, I'll catch you all there later. I have one more thing I need to do before I can be done with this business.
Is it anything that you need any help with?
No, a lot of silence and sitting in the woods. I'll be back later.
See you later.
All right.
I think before Ezekiel makes his exit, I'll kind of catch up with him and say, do you want some company? It's been being on the boat is a little... I miss home. I'd like to sit by a tree or something.
Of course. Come on.
And then Paul will act as Ezekiel's bodyguard throughout the town. I'm sure that's going to go well.
Yeah, you are still tailed, especially Paul and Ezekiel together. Do y'all leave the city and just go into the woods?
Yep.
Okay. West or east?
Let's go east.
Okay. So towards the side where the keep is.
Yes.
Do you want to be alive or dead? Let's be dead.
I don't know if she has any other kids out there, and I don't want to push it.
Okay. So you go east. The rest of you, are all of you going to the shield wall, or just some?
I think we're going back to the ship first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're at the ship. I thought this is where you're having your conversation.
I thought so too, but I want to go check on Orzana.
Yeah, you go down. She seems fine. Actually better. She's kind of sitting up.
Through Amsen or Ellory, I'm going to talk and translate. How are you feeling? Are you sore anywhere?
Yes, but better.
Have you noticed any bruises?
Yeah, but I'm better.
Take a look at those. Make sure you're not. I don't want to worry.
She shows you, and there are bruises from just cutting and stuff. It's a little dark, but
I just want to make sure she's not hemorrhaging. Like I didn't steal something, right?
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be bleeding or anything. She seems
okay, as long as there's no internal bleeding, because that's what I was really worried about.
She seems okay.
Do you want to go ashore for the night? Are you thinking of getting you a proper bed? Hot meal?
I think I might sleep on the deck tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there's anything you need, Orzana, don't hesitate to ask any of us.
She smiles, and she's in her new clothes that are clean.
For example, is there anything that you want us to get you to keep you occupied while we take the next leg of the journey?
They said I could help in the kitchen. I think I'm going to do that.
Do you want us to bring you any food or drinks?
I'm okay, thank you. You've done enough.
All right.
Okay. So after checking on her, Ball and
I'll tell her where we're going to, so if she needs us, she can go to the shield wall and find us there.
Okay. So you tell her that. Ball and Ezekiel go to the east side of town into the woods. The rest of you go to the shield wall? Just some of you?
Kalvyn would be hesitant, but he wouldn't necessarily say no. He would probably linger back, and if nobody said anything, he'll just stay on the ship.
Kalvyn, are you coming or no?
Well, I don't need any fancy to-dos, and maybe somebody should stick around with Orzana.
Actually, I know Ball's not here, but whilst all of us and Ezekiel's gone, I actually want to ask you something, Kalvyn, and kind of get everyone else's opinion on it. We're going to be in town for another few days, and I don't know how much the materials cost or how long it took you to make these. And I kind of tap my bronze scale. Do you think you can make one for Ezekiel? I think he's earned it.
I'm sure I could. I messed up a lot making those, to be honest with you.
I think the question that should be asked first, and I've actually been thinking about it myself, is, do you think Ezekiel is worthy of owning one?
I think we might need to talk to him about it. We're kind of stick together a little bit. I don't know if he's gonna stay past getting home. I mean, right now he's been hanging out with us, and while I do appreciate everything he's done, and I would say his blood has been paid, so to speak, we might need to see if he's interested before. I mean, I could maybe prepare one on the off chance he says yes, but...
We'll ask him, of course, but I wanted to get your opinion and everyone else's as well before we ask him. You don't invite someone to a party and without asking the other host first.
I have my reservations, but I think, we do well together, I guess.
I think he's earned it, but that's just me.
He was with us for Arcesis. I think that counts for a lot.
Yeah. Meli, did we tell you?
Tell me what?
Kalvyn looks away.
Well, we defeated the Valgriff once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
But not the one that we met as children.
Okay.
I look to Amsen like, help.
Meli Orcesis decided to take matters into his own claws, we shall say. And we did something for him. I guess he figured that he should do something for us, and he tried to take on the Volgrith. Sadly, he succeeded. And so we had to deal with Orcesis.
Deal with him?
The
and
curse,
kill the Volgrith.
the curse carries on.
Yeah. And Orcesis became the Volgrith.
Wait. You killed him?
We didn't really have a choice. It was mercy.
We put him to rest. He did a great deed killing the Volgrith.
Is there no other way to break the curse than killing him?
We tried. I tried to carve the heart, but it was too late. He was already too far gone, and we laid him to rest. I performed a funeral. Right, his soul's at peace.
So what happened when you killed him then? Did the curse just go, like...
Kalvyn devoured the heart.
Meli's just gonna turn around and just fucking lock eyes with Kalvyn, and she is not happy.
Over her shoulder, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
What were you thinking?
Everything said that's how the curse would end, and if we let the curse continue, even if we didn't, it would have. I mean, everything that Orcesis did, he killed a lot of the Valren getting to the Volgrith. He made it our job a lot easier, to be honest with you, lifting the curse. It's just, I look at it as that was his sacrifice for us, for everybody. Help, and it was the only thing that we could do.
The only thing we could have done, and what happens if you hadn't broken the curse, then we would have had to kill you too.
Well, I think there was talk of like a cage, or tying me down, they weren't gonna kill me, but, yeah.
So you were just gonna be this thing forever in a cage?
We didn't take this decision lightly, Meli. We didn't do it because we felt like it or because it was easy. We looked for other solutions, but there are none.
So the best solution was let Kalvyn kill the thing, because Kalvyn's always the one in the group who sacrifices himself.
I had faith that it would work out, and it did.
Well, that's great. I hope faith saves you next time as well.
I do too, actually.
Just gonna shake my head. I don't have anything else to say.
I'm sorry, Meli.
We didn't like it either.
And to bring it back, Ezekiel was there with us. He was supportive, understanding. He understood our hesitation. And he gave us great counsel before we made that decision.
He confirmed that Kalvyn's information was right about how to break the curse.
If you want to make him a bronze scale, then make him a bronze scale. I wasn't there, so I don't know what he's like.
Well, maybe we should wait until you've had a chance to get to know him better. This is a decision that all of us should make. Together.
We haven't even asked Ball yet.
It's up to you guys.
I think we all need some rest. It's been a long day.
With that, Kalvyn's gonna go down below deck and go rest.
Meli, do you want to come with us to the shield wall?
No, thank you.
I'll reach out and set my hand on Meli's shoulder. Just kind of give it a squeeze.
She'll just kind of smile at you and then just... I don't know whether I'm allowed to stay on your ship or whether I'm supposed to stay on mine. So...
Amsen will, just before he goes, cast Minor Illusion. He's going to make a illusory bouquet of chrysanthemums, and then as he lets go of them, they'll transform into butterflies and float and fly away. And then he'll smile and say, Meli, if you need us, we'll be in the shield wall.
Okay.
Okay.
So Vesper, Ellory, and Amsen go to the shield wall, get some rooms, drinks, whatever, as Kalvyn and Meli stay on the ship. Kalvyn goes down. Ball and Ezekiel, are you guys doing anything in particular, just finding a good place in the woods to rest?
I'm actually going with the symbol of Duma that I still have, and I'll just kind of ritualistically burn it and just do I assume I have some kind of special ritual to destroy this prey. Then I'll kind of guide Ball through if he's there too, helping me out, just where to sit. And yeah, I'll just pray over it for a moment as I've destroyed it.
Yeah, I think Ball will pray as well. I mean, obviously to a different god, but just similar kind of message there.
Okay. Yeah, y'all take your time, destroy it in ritualistic fashion, and begin to pray over the broken shards and ash of the symbol of Duma. Anything else for you guys before going to bed and starting the new day?
Maybe not yet. I think for now, Ball will just kind of enjoy not being on a rocking boat for nights at a time.
How many rooms are we actually getting at the shield wall?
Yeah. And how much are they?
I seem to remember them being 2 silver.
Yeah, the rooms aren't cheap. Or aren't expensive. 2 silver for most. There's some that are a little more that are bigger, and those are 5 silver.
I'll get a bigger room.
Okay, 5 silver.
I'll get whatever is available.
Okay. There's one more big room and then a few, about 4 or 5 small rooms.
I'll get a smaller one.
2 silver.
Same.
Okay. All right. So you guys eventually go to bed in your respective wood shield wall or on the rocking boat before the morning comes once more, woken by the chirping of birds and the breeze running through the forest, or by the swaying of the boat as the waves come in, or by the sound of clanking kegs that are being rolled and refilled and restocked for the next night. What would you like to do?
First thing, I want to go see how Meli is.
Okay, so do y'all make your way back to the ship?
I might stick around for breakfast if Ellory goes back to the ship.
I'll join.
Well, yeah, I think
breakfast.
I would have breakfast first.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably spend 5 silver between breakfast and a few drinks. Nothing crazy.
You know what? I feel like I shouldn't have said anything. I mean, she had to know eventually, but I feel like I ruined the evening.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm just really good at saying the wrong thing, apparently.
You didn't say anything wrong.
And I said most of it. So
There's really no good way to tell somebody something like that.
and see what the night turned into.
Okay.
So you have your breakfast, beginning head back to the ship. Ball and Ezekiel, do y'all head back to the ship or anything else?
I do want to go shopping before we leave this city, but other than that, Paul, you wanted to learn how to fish. I don't have any other plans for today if you're not busy.
I would love to. I don't have my rod here.
I saw your rod. We're going to go to town and pick up a few things.
Okay. So the boys go shopping. Fishing rod? Anything else? Bait?
Yeah, I don't think I should buy armor on the fishing trip excursion, so I'll go back for that. But yeah,
Okay.
Fishing rod, some bait, 2 fishing rods actually.
And then like a 6-pack
A
of
pool
beers.
cute. Yeah, something like that.
You can get kind of halfway decent all of that for 5 silver. If you want a little nicer fishing rod, you can get it for 1 or 2 gold.
I'm cheap.
Okay. So 5 silver, 2 simple but effective fishing rods, and some basic bait. So are you guys going fishing this morning?
Yeah, I think so. That's the plan.
Okay. One of y'all roll a survival check to find a place to fish.
To find a place to fish, I will do that. since I am rested now. Where's the number? Oh, God. 10.
Okay. You go to the river, to the slowest part of the rapids you can find, which is still pretty quick. But you find a little hole there, and go ahead and y'all both give me survival rolls.
14. Mo.
Okay.
18.
Yeah. Despite the quickly running rapids that would push most fish beyond, there seems to be some sort of migration of some sort of fish that hop in and out of the waves, or in and out of the rapids of the waters. And you both catch, over the next couple hours in the morning, several fish, fairly large-sized fish. While you catch maybe 3 ones that are big enough to keep, and Ezekiel, you catch maybe 4 large ones and another one that's a little smaller. But it's most of them are of sort of a light brownish color. Ezekiel, the smaller one you catch has like a vibrant green color to the scales.
Cool. I'll toss most of mine back, or all of mine back, because I don't care. But
I think watching Ezekiel do that, and since I'm still in like grasshopper mode, I will actually do the same as well.
Okay. So you toss back these salmon-like fish.
And maybe when I do, I'll I'll look to Ezekiel and say, "Looks like you don't like to keep anything against its will."
Usually not. I mean, I wasn't going to eat it anytime soon, and while I imagine that experience is quite traumatizing, live to fight another day. But yes, you're right, I'm not a big fan of keeping things caged.
Is there a reason you go so far out of your way with the elemental or Zana?
I believe that everything should be free. I mean, nature has path and balance, and the second man starts thinking he owns other creatures, particularly those that can think and act for themselves, everything breaks. Nothing should be kept in a cage. A piece of a cage beast dies, and it's worse than, I don't know. I couldn't imagine it, so I don't like seeing others in those situations. I'm not really one to see something I don't like and not do something about it.
You'll see Ball kind of nods along, seemingly like an agreement, and then he'll stop and like stare out into the river for a moment and say, "Do you think it was wrong what we did yesterday, entangling the beast before we slayed it?"
Not like that. I don't mean catching things in traps as you're hunting it with purpose, for food, for protection. I even vaguely understand the thought of imprisonment. I don't think it works, and I think it is a useless drain on resources, but I'm not going to fight something that is punishment by a system that thinks it's just. But what happened to Orzana and that elemental ownership of another creature just because you have power over it? Nothing they did wrong. That's unacceptable. But no, ensnaring a beast before you put it down for protecting people, it's not quite the same.
And then you'll see Ball just kind of looks back at the river and say under his breath, "Freedom, balance." And then he kind of nods his head and maybe just picks up like a rock near the stream, just kind of throws it into the water. "Thank you for teaching me how to fish."
Of course. And, Ball, if you're in need of any other education in preparation for your lady friend, I am quite experienced in a variety of matters.
I don't understand what you mean.
Ezekiel will just kind of sigh and put his arm on Ball's arm, maybe linger for just a minute.
Is there more to fishing that I don't know?
So much, my dear, sweet, innocent friend. But that advanced lessons are for you to discover on your own. I think. Let's go find the others.
Okay. So as y'all spend a couple hours fishing and talking over the rapids, catching some fish, dropping them back, you begin to head back towards the boat. Kalvyn and Meli, you awake on the boat, and a few hours pass. Is there anything you guys do?
I would check on Rosanna, make sure she's all right. Basically just touching in, not really trying to get into too much, being like, hey, you good? All right. And then maybe checking on kind of waiting on the side of the boat for everybody else, keeping an eye out just in case there are some people waiting on us like they were prior to giving them those thingers. And that's all I got for right now. Waiting for everybody else.
Okay. Meli?
Nope. Maybe just wander upstairs after a while if people haven't shown up yet.
Okay. So you guys just going to take some time waiting on the others, checking in on people here and there. A couple hours later, Amsen, Ellory, and Vesper show. And then a little while after that, Ezekiel and Ball will show back up to the ship.
Morning, Meli.
Good morning.
How did you sleep?
Fine. Your beds are bigger than the other ships. It's probably because they're halflings, so there's a bit smaller than this one.
Ezekiel would just kind of look from Meli to the others and just be like, well, this is fun. Oh, look, everything all right, y'all? Sorry I never made it back to the inn last night. I just ended up camping out with Ball when we went fishing this morning, and you're all very still.
We filled Meli in on some of the things she missed.
They want you to be a bronze scale. If you want to join.
Well, I don't know what to say. Mostly because there seems to be some, I don't know, that doesn't feel like a happy question right now. You know what I think may help everyone? Who wants to go shopping?
I actually had some shopping in mind today.
We have money now, so why not? I've got a few things on my list that I should have picked up before.
Meli, I have to show you something that I bought the other day, and I think you would like it. Maybe you've already seen one, but I need to show you it. I think you'd like it.
What is it?
I'll take out my currently blank Enduring Spellbook.
You have a spellbook?
I do. It has nothing in it, though. I have a spellbook, though.
Did you want to copy some of mine, or did you want to go looking for spell scrolls?
I have no idea. I don't know anything. Amsen says this with the biggest smile on his face. I literally feel clueless. And it's amazing.
That's okay. I can teach you. We can go find spell scrolls.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like Amsen and good over.
We have plenty of gold now to buy diamonds. I have the 250 from selling those earrings, and if we want to all chip in a little bit more, that would be enough to, take care of things if the worst happens to any of us.
I think, if we all put in 110 with the 250, we'd have a little bit more than enough for 2 decent-sized ones. 500s.
Okay. I think that's worth it.
I needed to head back to the jeweler today anyway.
Fine by me.
That'll keep us safe for a bit.
I still don't know how to do that, though. Maybe I'll stop by the temple before we leave and see if I can get some kind of education on that. Their redeem seems very capable.
I think we are, if I remember correctly, leaving tomorrow-ish, perhaps. So, we at least have today.
First, tomorrow. Okay.
You still have 2 days.
Never mind, we're leaving the day after tomorrow.
So it sounds like most people are shopping. Is that right? Anyone that's not?
I think Ball will sit back and show off his fishing skills.
Okay. So Ball's going to hang back fishing. That sounds like Amsen and Meli are going to go try to find some spell scrolls. The rest of you guys
Kalvyn, you want to go find some armor? Just want to see if there's any of that dragon scale.
I'd definitely want to find some armor. I don't know if I have enough gold to make that happen, but...
Can I go with the pair of you? I was going to trade this crappy armor I bought for the really nice stuff that I wanted.
Sure.
Okay. So I think now would be a good time to go ahead and take a break as we're about to go shopping. And that way I'll be able to gather that stuff together. So we'll come back at 9:45. So about 15 minutes.
Next time on Back to the Story.
I mean, I know there's still been some question about Orzana's fate.
Who has that stuff that we got from the catacombs?
Trace the lines of portals and stars.
I was hoping to learn more of what Ayain's grace is capable of.
And will you defend Dawn's hope for those who need you?
With all my strength.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.